hope that got us past the advertising segment of the evening. Let me just find my cans. All right, here we are. So, just setting up the stuff here. We got some greetings to send out. We got some housekeeping to do. Got a beer to pour. We do, in fact, have beer blades, and we will be talking about bushcraft in some way this evening. Sorry I'm a little late, but as you guys know, if I turn the camera on while kids are down here and I got beer and we're talking about blades and stuff, it could get expensive. Because YouTube just makes everything really complex. I'm going to pour this beer. I don't know a thing about this beer. I'll show you the can once it's poured. How's everyone doing on this fine evening? Oh, I've totally blown the pour. Of course I have. Serge must be somewhere in the room, lurking. Sorry, I'm not doing this on screen, but yeah, I totally. Whoops. We'll let that settle down a bit and then we'll finish the pour. So, how's everybody doing? I'm just going to say hi to everyone and then we can move on with the housekeeping. You know what? No, let's do the housekeeping first because the hellos can sometimes extend for a half hour or whatever. So, first off, welcome to the 10th of May episode of the live stream. If at any point tonight you're really liking what you're seeing and hearing, then please hit that smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you kind of don't like what you're seeing or hearing, that's okay. You can hit that frowny thumb as well. If you want to take a very active role in supporting the channel, then I invite you to check out the memberships down below, and I have a tip jar for people who don't want to throw the whatever it is extra the 30% cut at YouTube. The tip jar down in the show notes is a PayPal thing. Yes. And as I always say, if you're watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month, that means a lot to me. Thank you for your eyes, even after the fact. And feel free to leave comments down below. So, shall we say hi to people? I think we shall. Who do we got? I saw that even before I was on. Tenenbaum was in the house. Canadian was cooking pork chops over an open fire, which you have my envy there, mister. I shall, in fact, show what I'm talking about. Okay. The beer has now been poured. I have salvaged the pour. It's a very nice color. It looks like it's by Les Brasseurs du Monde, which I've shown beer by them before. This is like a co-branding with a local what do you call it? A shopping store, grocery store called IGA, and arrangé avec les gardes-vues. I don't know who les gardes-vues are, but it looks like they're a film or in some way media production team. So media production is right up my alley. Let's see how this stuff tastes. Oh, I haven't done a beer review in a long time. 4.5%, so it's a kind of a light beer. It's a Russe. What's Russe in English? Is that an amber? Do they have English? They have English. This amber-hued red beer, inspired by the extra special bitter style, offers an excellent balance of caramelized malt notes. I do like malt. And classic English hop flavors. I hope it's not too hoppy. It's slightly bitter, with delectable hints of lightly toasted cookie. It may be enjoyed as an aperitif or as an excellent pairing for grilled meats or stews. Contains barley and may contain wheat. Let's see what we got. It's got a nice, almost fruity smell to it. That's the malt magic. Malt is really cereal-y, but sometimes it's got a nice kind of a stewed fruit thing. And that continues right into the palate. That's a nice, it's got a friendly mouthfeel. It's a very nice drinking beer. I like it. And at 4.5%, I'm not afraid of getting 3 sheets to the wind by halfway through the live stream. I like it. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? There we go. That's better. Am I right? Oh, I'm so right. So we got Canadian in the house. We got Tenenbaum hanging with us. Tenenbaum, if at any point I say something tonight that makes you want to come on screen, let me know in the side chat, because a couple of weeks ago, Tenenbaum had something really interesting to share, and I totally missed it because my phone was essentially dead. So who we got here? So David Evans is in the house. Hi, everybody. He's saying, how's by you, David? How's it going tonight? We got Russell from Raspberry Rock, Charles and Anayan from down south and practically across the date line. Who else we got? Marcus. Hey, Marcus, how's it going? Grace, nice to see Grace showing up in the side chat there. Long's Quest, how's it going, Mister? Look at all this. Look at all these great people we have in the side chat here. Carol's in the house. Sharon, nice to see you. I would like to say that Carol and David and Russell are all members of the channel, which makes them my personal heroes. Anyone else? Did I miss anyone? Not so far. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I hope my light stays up there. Yeah. Sharon, any updates on your cabin? Yeah, that is a good beer. For the whiskey a little later, I have an Ardbeg. The last Ardbeg I had on screen was the Ugadal. This is Anno. It's a slightly different. It's a little more rounded than the Ugadal, but I still think the Ugadal is my favorite Ardbeg. Excuse me. Sharon says, too much news about the cabin for here. That's okay. I just wanted to know if things were progressing. Canadian is definitely where I would like to be, sitting out there listening to the tree frogs in the background. I don't know if the weather there is anything like it is here, but it's perfect for that around here right now. I would be sitting lakeside with a fire for any excuse, and that's what I'd be doing tonight. Yeah, now I'm sort of pining for the pines. Rats. I don't know why they said that. Who watched Dennis's premiere earlier today? Did you guys all watch that? That I didn't see all of it because, feeding the kids and stuff, but I will rewatch the parts that I missed tomorrow. It looked like a really good presentation. Good couple of guys. I think Kevin has a new book out. I think. Can anyone check me on that before I sort of like look off screen to try and check out his Facebook page? If I did read that right, and Kevin does have a new book out, would you guys be interested if I tried to get him on to talk about it? Would that be something you guys would be interested in seeing? David's got another bonfire plan for this weekend. Nice. He's working on a memoir. Okay. I thought he had a new guidebook out. Charles says, sure, get him on. Yeah, okay. I'll see if I can get him on. I mean, I've had good luck with trying to get him on to talk about stuff. He's very approachable and very, very interesting. Like, you're never quite sure what you're getting if you have him on the show, but I like that. I really like that. It's a good experience. Who we got here? Hey, Foxit, how's it going, Cliff? Fox says, I think I'm here, but I also think I'm not thinking about thinking I'm here. What's the English version of that? I think, therefore I am. You just need one think, and you're good. Russell says the peepers would sound great if it wasn't for some fool dog barking her head off every 5 minutes. I love it. That's a surprisingly good beer for one that's branded for a supermarket. And frankly, it wasn't my genius move. This was my wife picking it up, which is nice. Which was really nice. I'm wondering if Gary just sent me something, and I'm wondering if it's something I can show. Hold on a second here. Let me drop You guys see this? Nope. That's a nice deck with view right into the window where he's right into the living room where he's got some damn fool on screen. What are you watching there? Hockey? I don't know a thing about hockey. I was having this conversation with a friend the other day about how the last time I cared about hockey, I believe Carbonneau was wearing the captain's jersey of the Habs. And that's not just one generation ago. That's a long ass time ago. And I just find that hockey has become too much of a Hollywood game now. And I felt that for a long time. So I kind of don't follow it. I better not drink that beer too fast. Where was I? Okay, he's watching the Leafs against Tampa and my show. Well, I'm glad I'm in there somewhere. I just had a question pop into my head. If any of you guys were to write what you saw as the definitive bushcraft or homesteading or off-grid book, or maybe you wouldn't do a book, maybe you would do like a documentary or something, what's the subject that you want to see done? I started putting notes together for something fairly recently, by which I mean just before COVID blew the stuffing out of everything. But it's such a niche market. The outdoors market is so much more niche than you would think it was. And it's there are, you walk into Indigo or whatever the American version of Indigo is, was it Barnes and Noble, and you go to the outdoors sort of survival / bushcraft section, and it's the SAS book, Cody Lundin, 4 sort of typical survival books. That Field and Stream one, the outdoors complete, whatever, that I showed you. I was like, what the hell is with this coffee table book? And then maybe a couple of paddling books. And so does that say that only the survivalists, the coffee table, and the paddling books sell? Or does it mean that there kind of isn't much beyond that and rifle books or whatever, hunting books? You go to Mountain Equipment Co-op. No, what's it called now? Mountain Equipment Company. Actually, I haven't been into it since it changed hands, but it used to be that they had a bazillion paddling books, guidebooks for Ontario, some hiking books for Ontario. I mean, even here in Montreal, a lot of the Kevin Callan stuff. That book that a lot of places seem to have about camping with kids, and that's about it. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys were to make, or if you were to look for the ideal outdoorsy book or documentary or whatever, what would you like to see covered specifically? Oh, and Canadian's got a water fountain as well. I didn't see that in the pic, but I don't think that the pic showed up very well on screen, so I'm not gonna. Yeah, like I don't know. I was just thinking about that. It sort of popped into my head. Sorry, guys, I'm slumping down in my chair here. Didn't mean to yell like. Russell pops in with something characteristically classy. Didn't she? I think there was enough geese making whoopee on your show a few days ago, wasn't it? Wasn't there? There's a lot of outdoor cooking stuff, though, Charles. Hey, I wonder what. Like a lot of the outdoor cooking books you find here are like Ray Mears or um, wherever that one is that I have the backcountry cookbook, whatever. But it's a real specific style of cooking, and I wonder what like is there camp cooking in say Japan or the Philippines or China, or is the cooking in those areas just sort of more conducive to outdoor cooking anyway? You know, like how here there are things you do on the barbecue and there are things you don't. Like you do most stuff in the kitchen, but there are certain things that you do over a fire, whether it's a barbecue or a campfire. And the choices are much more limited, generally speaking, unless you're someone who has dehydrated spaghetti sauce and rice or something, and you just throw some water in and reconstitute it. But I wonder if elsewhere in the world there is sort of that same dichotomy between um, cooking and outdoorsy cooking. Not that Whitey here is going to go make like an ethnic cookbook or anything. It's just there's a question that popped into my head as we were chit chatting here. Um, Canadian, also classy. Bears in the woods. Okay, I'm sure it is. Russell doesn't show up quite as much on screen. I think geese gone wild. Oh man. Okay, this geese making whoopee thing is picking up steam in the side chat here. That's great. Canadian says, I can tell you a hunting lunch story. My uncle Vince was AWOL at a lunch break during hunting season. It was during hunting once, and I'm like, where is he? I hear a whistling go over a hill, and there he is with a fire going and roasting a bird over a fire. Nice. Jess King, welcome. Okay, lots of outdoor cooking books available here in Japan, usually combined with camping locations and items for sale. Interesting. So, but like, okay, are those outdoor cooking books sort of your typical North American style, or is there like I keep wondering if typical Japanese food can be done like you can make rice, you can cut meat, it seems to me that the dishes are more conducive to cooking either inside or outside. Like you don't necessarily need to have the same dichotomy between indoor food and outdoor food that we have here. But like I've never gone camping in Japan, right? So I don't know if that's true or not. And on the other side of it, as someone whose outdoor experience is like Swedish carving, reindeers, you know, camping in Canada, um, you know, North American YouTubers, British YouTubers, like I have a very specific concept, you know, and so to part of me is just thinking that everyone across the world just hangs bacon over a fire, makes panic, and the other part of me is like, well, look at so much Asian or even African, well, Asian food, how well that could transition to the outdoors. I would like to find some good Japanese outdoors YouTubers to follow. There was a Chinese one that I was following at some point, and I don't remember the name. And for some reason, I never actually subscribed. It's just they kept popping up in my in my For You page, or whatever the YouTube version of a For You page is. Hold on. Hike with Mike. How's it going, Hike? Oh, damn it, Mike. How's the weather down in Florida tonight? Canadian continues with, he just whipped up a fire and cooked himself a grouse. Old school lunch. That sounds nice, actually. Jess King says you can do most of their examples inside or outside. Yeah, that's sort of what I was kind of thinking, because just the format of the food is so like portable. What's that English dude I enjoy? TA Outdoors. Yeah, TA Outdoors. His channel is good. He does some cool things. He does some nice building. Real friendly seeming guy. David Evans is reminding everyone to please hit the thumbs up. David Evans is also a member of my channel, which means he is one of my personal heroes. Hike with Mike says it's nice down there tonight. Are you hurricane season starts at the end of the month, so it's always a stressful time. Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that. I don't really have to deal with a hurricane season up here. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. The hell? I feel like we were like having a conversation, and then it sort of got derailed at some point. I don't remember on what. Oh yeah, I was asking like, because I was thinking like how Kevin has been doing guidebooks, right? Guidebooks, and he built his name on guidebooks, and then suddenly he did once around Algonquin, which was a memoir, and it was such a shock to his publishers that he had to self-publish it. They were not going to touch it, and it's a good book, and I kind of want to talk to him about it. But that book, I thought I saw that he had a new guidebook out, but no one seems to have. None of you have picked up on that, so maybe I imagined it. Yes, Canadian. I asked which bushcraft subjects would people be interested in to see, like a documentary or a book. I think the crossover between outdoorsy people and filmmakers is a really interesting space to live in. Because like aside from the typical YouTubers like me and stuff, there are some guys making absolutely beautiful stuff. There was a film with Ray Mears. What was it called? We Belong to It, I think, about canoeing. Hold on while I just see if I can find it. We Belong to It. Was that it? We Belong to It, Ray Mears. Yes, that is it. It's a short, it's like a 14-minute video, I believe. Made by, I don't remember his name. I believe he's of Japanese extraction. Yeah, Go Iramoto, which might actually be Iramoto Go for all I know. I shall drop what I hope is the link for the entire film in the side chat. Go Iramoto's We Belong to It, starring Ray Mears. Please right click and open in a new tab. I do hope that my typing is okay. I think I misspelled Iramoto. Iramoto. Oh, Iramoto. Okay. Boom. Did that link show up? Hey, Kristen's here. How's it going? How's it going? So much truth in one little statement. Yeah, I think you got it right. I would yeah, I need to get the hell into the woods. Like Mike says, there's a channel I follow. I can't remember the name, but their videos adventures are awesome. The narration is what makes it. It's like Henry David Thoreau is doing the narration. It's what you just reminded me of. I just reminded me of when it was during one of my live streams when I found out that the Dick Prenicky narrations weren't actually done by Dick Prenicky. And I'd spent all this time, like Dick Prenicky, he would say, I walked down to the waterfront with my axe, my fine, sharp axe, and I chopped down a tree. And who was it? Russell? One of you guys said it's not actually him who did the narration. I was like, what? Worldview shaken. But if you could remember what channel that is, I would love to see that. I'd love to see that. Yeah, I've said this before, and I say it again. I would love to experience bushcrafting somewhere foreign to my bushcraft experience. I would love to spend a weekend bushcrafting in the Okanagan, or like the extreme south of the Okanagan, down around Osoyoos, where it's absolutely desert and brush. Like little tiny deserty plants, brush. I guess scraggly little. Like what do you do there when what you're used to is trees everywhere? Cutting some standing deadwood. Or the Australian outback, or you know, way in Asia somewhere. What like some elements are the same everywhere, I guess, right? If you chop down a tree, you've got wood. The edibles on like Hokkaido might be very different than the edibles in the rainforest of British Columbia and Washington State. Actually, it might be a little more similar there, but to the edibles in Quebec or Ontario or New York State, maybe. When I say edibles, I don't mean the current meaning of that word. I mean edible plants, by the way. Hey, Dennis is here. I saw some of your premiere tonight, and I'll watch the rest tomorrow. That looked like a really good time. And I very much envy you that opportunity, Dennis. That was great, and you completely deserved it. Canadian, it looks like Dennis is also watching the Leafs game. Oh, my sinuses are going crazy. Sorry, guys. Yeah, Hike with Mike says, I would like to visit the desert and explore it. It's the complete opposite of my swampy environment. Absolutely. And very much the opposite of my temperate forest environment as well. I think that guy Go Yoromoto, whose film I just linked you guys to, I think he did something on Grey Owl as well, which I know like Grey Owl is a Canadian icon, but I don't know if he's really known outside of our borders. At one point he was quite well known in the UK, but I like, I don't know how to, because I see Canadian icons from a Canadian point of view. I don't know what the view of these guys is from outside, the borders. Look, I know Anne of Green Gables is known practically everywhere. I don't know if Grey Owl is. Hike with Mike says the Leafs are playing the Lightning from my neck of the woods. It seems like a couple of you guys know your stuff about hockey. I just do not. Warm and sunny. House build is moving forward. How's your week? How's your week, Marcus? How's your week going? You know, I've read Thoreau a few times now. Walden Pond and stuff. And you read that book with a whole different view when you realize he didn't spend his life sitting there on that pond. He wasn't there for the long term. He wasn't a weekend warrior, but like I have outdoors heroes. And again, because of where I live, they're all Canadian, American, or British, essentially. But I have outdoors heroes, people who I would love. Man, I would just love to pull a Dick Prenneke and just move up to the north. I would do Yukon instead of Alaska because immigration, um, and just build a cabin and shoot videos. I would do my own narration. Here I am putting the logs one on top of another in an effort to finish the cabin before the winds of November turn into the snows of December. I got to do an entire episode just taking the piss out of Dick Prenneke films. But I have certain heroes, and Thoreau. Like when I found out that, um, I should read up on him a lot more. But when I read that he was kind of only there for like a period of time to get the experience, uh, almost as an experiment rather than like as a full on life choice, it kind of let me down, and I find myself enjoying the literature. I find myself enjoying the book a little less because of that. It doesn't feel as real as it because he starts that book with a pretty snarky comment on city folk. And like whenever I hear rural types, dissing city folk and saying, oh, whatever, if you want a job done right, get a rural guided or whatever. Like the typical sort of, I'm like, okay, buddy, but if we all moved out there to where people are apparently better, there'd be no room for you. And so I don't have the quote in front of me right now because I didn't know I was going to be talking about this book. Otherwise, I would have just pulled it over. But it seemed kind of snarky and, the typical, you know, self-sufficient guy view on city guys kind of thing. But if what I read about him not being there for his whole life and not being self-sufficient for his whole life is true, then it seems disingenuous. Hold on a second. Hike with Mike says, I'm not a sports guy, but my buddy Campfire Steve, who is in a lot of my hiking videos, and he is a diehard hockey fan, won't answer calls or text when a game is on. Sounds like me in the World Cup. Russell just dropping the knowledge. Hike with Mike says I sound like Christopher Walken when I do the Prenneke voice. Whoops, that's not what I was going for. Speaking of being let down when I heard the truth about these guys. There's a real beauty to living that way, though. Making sure to build the cabin before the... All right, I'm going to stop. Canadian says, I think some people hold outdoorsmen in high regard, not for their knowledge, more so their ability to actually get into the wilds or wood and experience an adventure. Yeah. Look, I'm not one who thinks that you should get a medal for participating, but I do think that 60% of success is just showing up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like getting into the woods, going, being there, experiencing it, building up skills. It's not hard, but you got to do it, right? It's not hard, but you got to do it, Jesse. And so I feel that like a lot of people see outdoorsmen as the other, right? Because let's face it, how many people have I'm trying to. For how many people does it never even occur to them to hit the woods? Aside from maybe like a camping trip once every 2 years, where you bring a 2-4. I don't know if that's a Canadian term, but you bring a large box of beer and some of that liquid fire starter, and you stand around a fire for 2 days getting 3 sheets to the wind with your bros. Like for a lot of people, the idea of piling your shite, piling your stuff into a canoe and going for a few days. Primitive skills, right? Primitive shelters. Foreign, absolutely foreign. Alien. And so I think that sort of feeds in a bit to what Canadian was saying about, how some people hold outdoorsmen in high regard because of their ability to actually get out into the wild. You know? I and how many authors make bank off of just that, actually? Right? Like, how many people are doing what I'm doing these days, which is reading these books because we can't get into the outdoors? I just heard a boop. Ah, looky there. Hold on. Is that good? Do we have sound? Okay.
I forgot about my earbud again. Hey, everyone. And Jess.
Yeah, right. Speaking of earbuds, so I bought those kind of expensive Apple earbuds, the Earbuds Pro or
Yep.
iPhones, whatever they're called, Pro,
Yep.
and I lost the case. So the batteries are now dead. I lost the case like a week ago. The good news is I can get a new case. The bad news is it's $130 Canadian.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah,
Jeez.
absolutely. Hike with Mike says, I'm an outdoors junkie. I got to get out at least once a week, even if it's only a short 2-mile hike. Forgot to get my woods time, partly because I'm on stage all week with my job around lots of folks. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the kids to grow up so I can stop being trapped, essentially.
Jess, are you still planning on coming out here?
Yeah, October, didn't we say?
We gotta talk some actual dates.
I
At some
know
point.
we do. My problem is that planning gives me anxiety. But yes, I will definitely.
Oh, I
Oh,
hate planning as well, but this should be exciting for you. Exciting planning.
exciting planning. I got to rent a car though. I have no idea what that's going to cost.
Oh, jeez.
Um,
If you can like take a train or something, or even a bus to like Kingston or something like that, I'll just come pick you up.
oh, that might simplify things then. I'll see
Train
if
would
there's a train.
probably.
Yeah, train
Yeah.
would be definitely more fun. I'm not so great with the bus ever since that poor guy just outside of Winnipeg got decapitated in a Greyhound. Do you remember that?
Nice.
Do you
No,
remember
I
that?
don't.
You don't remember
No.
that? I was like,
Oh, I know the one. Yep. Okay.
yeah,
Yep. We don't need to.
we
Nah,
don't.
we don't need.
Yeah, that's moving right along.
Hmm.
Um,
Hey, I got a question for you before you get too much further in. You have no way. If somebody hits your tip jar, you have no way of seeing that on screen here. Obviously, huh?
no, and that's what I was wondering when you were trying to walk me through doing it. I thought that there was some like button I could put so that when someone tip jarred, it would like boop. Because if somebody tip jars you, doesn't it show up on screen?
Well, yeah, but there's a thing in OBS. There's a widget for that.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have a widget, and it's a different. Yeah. Anyway, like how do you know if you do get a tip?
I don't know.
Do you get an email or something?
I'll probably get a PayPal notification. If anybody does tip jar me. Let me know. I, you know.
Okay, I may have hit the tip jar.
Okay, thanks, buddy. Not like the other day, I hope.
Well, you gotta go look.
Okay, all right. I will go look. Oh yes, I did.
What is it? Is it an email?
It's Oh, this has your actual name on it though. Thanks for the
Yeah.
$10. There we
So
go.
that's it.
There you go.
That's your pop-up.
There's got to be a way for me to get a pop-up to happen not using OBS. Hold on. Let me see if I can just throw together a graphic here. No, I'm not going to do that, but let's see. I'm just taking a look here. Excuse me. Thanks for the $10 tip jar tip for the towards the PC. Russell from Raspberry Rock. How was that?
I like your widget. That was nice.
It's an audio widget. Thing is, if I spend like bank on StreamYard, there are features I can have, but I don't think that's one of them. I'll look it up this week, see if I can remember.
Tip jar pricing.
I did put something by Canadian up on screen, and then I ran out of time. I didn't actually deal with it. He says, but when one sits under a tree or on a lake and the breeze, sounds, smells calm your soul, that's what draws you back and want to go back. Absolutely. I love, for my first week back, when I take my sweater out to put it on and it still smells like a campfire. The wife would like me to throw that stuff in the wash right away when I get home, but I like to leave at least one article of clothing. I forgot, because I love the smell. It takes me right back to the woods, you know. Sharon's agreeing with Canadian. Mike says, and bring your guitar too. Yeah, I think Canadian and his guitar. It'll be a good evening. I'm just taking a look. Hike with Mike likes Canadian's musical videos. Hike with Mike tells Canadian that he hasn't played guitar in years. He forgot how to play. I haven't picked up a guitar in a long time either, because I'm trying to sort of. I feel like I'm swimming to stay afloat on bass right now, because I don't have a lot of time to practice, and we've got these gigs, so I have to make sure that Hike with Mike says that I mentioned the World Cup, which is the most important sporting event in the world, in my opinion, and it's the only sporting event he watches. Looking forward to it this summer. At some point, maybe off screen, I'll ask you who you like to back. Sharon loves the campfire smell.
I'm looking at the StreamYard pricing. I don't see anywhere where it talks about tip jars or stuff.
Nothing,
like
eh?
that.
And it's frustrating, because even if I want the 1080p streaming, I have to. It's not the first paid tier; it's the second, and that's too rich for my blood at this point.
It's $20 a month. It's
yeah, U.S. by the way, right?
Is that U.S.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Probably.
Carol, thanks for the super sticker. Make it a super chat next time so you can say something, so you can make a statement. Although that's a pretty cute sticker.
The sticker is the statement.
The sticker is the statement. Okay. All right.
All right. Not that I want to rain on Carol's parade, but check your tip jar again. Where is it?
Russell, you made an error, I think.
I hope not.
We'll talk about that afterwards. I don't think I can show that on screen.
It's not from me. It's from a friend who was trying to do it himself, and it wasn't working. But
can I show it then?
Yeah, of course. I'll tell you who it is in DMs.
Because that's excuse me. Where is it? I'm
Dude,
trying.
I remember I was asking you privately, like, how much, how much left on that PC? How much more do you have to raise?
Well, suddenly about like $200.
200 bucks.
Whew. Okay. That's well, thank our mutual friend for me. I got sweaty palms all of a sudden.
You can thank him. I DM'd you on Discord who it is.
Okay, I'll take a look at it later. Um. Okay, now I'm sidetracked from what we were talking about. Hey, Russell, do you read a lot of outdoorsy books, by the way, or like watch a lot of sort of more documentary level stuff?
No.
No, because like I was asking earlier, like if you guys knew, like if there was an outdoorsy book, if there's a subject you would like to see in a book, and I'm realizing that I don't know if people really read books anymore. Like
I don't. I don't think I've ever read any outdoorsy books.
I'm big on books. I used to be the type who would read 2 books a week until I started working in words, and now I kind of don't. But I still sort of see books and magazines as a baseline, like an outdoor knowledge and skills kind of baseline.
Hmm.
But that might be because I'm old fashioned. Like, how many people still buy the outdoorsy books or what Blu-rays or whatever versus just getting their information from YouTube? And I'm not saying that I'm not bitching about that. I'm saying because I get a lot of my knowledge from YouTube these days. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get everything from YouTube as well. I built a cabin watching YouTube videos.
See, that's amazing. That right there is the power of YouTube.
It's the internet, man.
Like in no uncertain terms, that is the power of YouTube. Any skill you can pick up.
Yeah, you want to learn to play guitar? Yeah, watch YouTube videos.
YouTube's.
You want to learn how to properly clean your teeth? YouTube videos.
YouTube videos. Absolutely. Hey, did you guys see the DJI Mini Pro 3 Pro, by the way? Have any of you guys seen that?
DJI Mini Pro 3?
Mini 3 Pro? The only reason I know about it is because Matty Hapoya and Peter McKinnon both put out videos on it today.
Okay.
And that might be... I have no idea what it costs, but just going on their videos, it looks like there might finally be a drone that would make me actually drop some money.
Huh. I'd have to look at the features and see what it has.
Yeah, I have to look at it closer. It looked, just going by the videos, like there was the follow me feature. Or that's not what it's called, is it?
It's essentially follow me.
Yeah. Because
I mean, on mine it's called Active Track.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Because Russell, like we've had this conversation before. Like I need that feature. That's like that's my make or break feature right there.
Absolutely. And the first mini ones didn't have that.
Yeah, which is why I didn't.
And I don't see it for sale on Amazon. So is it really new? It must be really new.
Yeah, it's brand new, I think. Yeah. Oh, Sharon said something. When you're in a place with no electricity, just a lantern, you read. Absolutely. It's funny, like if I'm in a place where there's no signal on this, I get really, really antsy, and then I suddenly don't. Right? Like for the first little while, I'm like, I can't share videos. I can't like chat to the peeps on Discord. I can't watch YouTubes. I'm actually breathing better. Like it's like I hit this sort of boom, and suddenly all the stress just dissipates. And that's where the magic, that's where reading by lamplight isn't, oh my God, there's no electricity. It's, wow, there's no electricity. Yeah, I like that moment. It's related in one way to when, I don't know how many of you guys are avid sailors. As I've said before, I used to crew on a 30-foot boat. And one of the best moments was the moment when the engine switches off and like that diesel clanky growl dissipates and you can just hear the wind in the sails. Like that
Yeah,
transition is something else.
I remember that. I remember we were sailing in the St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Grenadines? Am I saying that right? And
I think
the
so.
motor, I remember that exactly. The motor turning off, and then it's just the natural sounds of the wind and
Mm-hmm.
the waves, and then you're
Yep.
rolling on the swells, and like holy crap, this is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's I'm someone who likes transport where it's either self-propelled like a bicycle rather than a motorcycle, or it's wind or whatever. I like that kind of stuff because it shows that you don't need a motor to move. There are cases in which you absolutely do, but I love the magic of depending on the wind to move you down the lake, depending on your own two legs to get you up that hill, whether it's on a bike or I'll admit I do like the bicycle. Like mountain biking, I used to do a lot of mountain biking before kids were around. Just loved it. And there's like a lack of rumble when you're using a mountain bike rather than like a dirt bike.
Oh yeah, dirt bike, the old two-stroke dirt bikes.
Yeah,
Loud.
absolutely. Rap.
I found one website selling it here in Canada. The DJI 3 Pro Mini Pro is $979, so it's essentially $1,000.
Uh, just let me go.
And then they have one with the looks like the control has the screen built into it, and that
Yep.
one's 1,179.
Okay.
So not cheap, but
No, not you. In fact, more than the non-pro version, which I guess makes sense, but still, I like it. I like it.
oh, I need to see the modes. Anyway, I probably should be looking this up while I'm on your live stream.
That's fine. That's fine.
Well,
Um, Hike with Mike says he always goes to YouTube videos for plumbing repairs. Canadian says there's people who watch YouTube for how to cook and still burn it. That might be me. Mostly for baking though. I'm pretty good. I got a handle on cooking, but baking still trips me up sometimes.
hey Tim.
Tim? Hey, Tim. Tim, there is no real topic tonight. I didn't have time to come up with one. I had asked if people before the plague hit, I was sort of pulling notes together for a little outdoorsy book, which I'll maybe talk about if I pick it up again. But I was asking, like, if you could see an outdoorsy book or documentary or whatever, what would you want to see it about? What would you want it to be about that you're not seeing a lot of out there? Like, there are survival books, like, everywhere, ad nauseum, ad infinitum. There are paddling books ad infinitum, but most of them, let's face it, are guidebooks. There are outdoors cooking books. There are books about camping with kids. There are what do you call it when you're looking for edible food? Foraging. There's tree ID. There's bird ID. Like, is there anything that you think is missing? I'll tell you one thing: a series of good guidebooks about like paddling or hiking in Quebec in English is missing for sure.
How about not how not to get lost?
Yeah. Yeah. Hiking skills for when things go south, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a
Well,
bad
and
idea.
there's a lot of a mental aspect to it, right? It's like how to not lose your shit when you
Yeah.
when something goes wrong, you're lost or something goes wrong, because a lot of people just kind of just curl up and
Absolutely. And in fact, I posit, and I would love to know if you agree, that mental aspect, not going to pieces, might be the most important skill.
yeah. Yeah. Which is why, remember the movie The Edge with Anthony Hopkins, Alec Baldwin. It was a while ago, and these guys get plane wreck. These guys are stranded. There's a grizzly bear hunting them down,
Oh yeah, I only vaguely remember it though.
and Anthony Hopkins' character, he's done a lot of reading. He's never really been in the wilderness. He's done a lot of reading, but his attitude is wonderful. He's just like, okay, this is the situation. Let's see, what can we do?
Yeah,
And the other guys are like, we're fucked.
we're funky.
We're funky.
We're so funky.
We know where the front door is. Yep. Anyway, sorry. Well,
It's funny because there's nothing like a really good outdoors movie like that.
Yeah.
Like there are so many sort of okay. It's a bunch of hikers who get lost. Okay, and then like somewhere from the initial um, proposal to them shooting the film, Freddy Krueger ends up involved. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I could just see, you know how that happens, right? Of course, you know how that happens. Is like somebody writes a script and it's a really good script of people in the wilderness, and then a studio exec goes, "Yeah, but what if Freddy Krueger shows up?"
exactly, absolutely. Yeah. Oops, I did it wrong again.
I want to be that guy in the room, but what if Freddy Krueger shows up?
Yeah, exactly. So, I like Hike with Mike says, I go to my home swamp, which is 10-minute drive, and I get no internet service, but that is okay unless I need just a short bit under 20-second music intros for a review. I would love to be a 10-minute drive from somewhere I could do some serious bushcrafting. Oh, Sharon Q gets emails from DJI. $900 for the RC version. The thing is, that's the one I would want, but that's a heavy price. It's a heavy price to pay. But like what Matty Hapoya was saying is that is like that's the drone you want for your first drone. The ease of use, the controller, and everything is just that's the one you want. David says to Charles and Ian and Annalyn, I make an awesome bread using a bread maker. I would like to get a bread maker. Our kitchen is too small for all the kitchen gadgets I would like, though.
Bread makers are cool.
Yeah. Yeah, the fire and forget.
Yes.
Yeah. Canadian says, I said it earlier, but with the price of gas, maybe we should be making rivers through cities and people can paddle to work. I love that idea.
Oh God, I bought gas today. I couldn't believe the price.
Yeah.
I was like, it's $2 a liter.
Yeah. Absolutely. I remember when it went above like 68 cents per liter several years ago, and people lost their minds.
Yep.
And it's like, get that back, guys. Get that feeling back, okay?
You know what I think? Sidetrack. Hey, but you know what? I'll tell you, when you come here, Jess, I'll drone you.
Yeah. I can't wait to actually try a drone.
Oh, I remember because my Mavic 3 should have been here today, but
nice.
It didn't arrive at the pickup spot in time. But I was remembering when I first got my first drone, being really excited and being really scared. Like, really
It's great to hit it, to crash it.
Oh, it's scared to fly it. Oh, it's like, I'm going to do something. I spent all this money and I'm going to crash it.
Yeah. I got to try to catch up with the side chat here because... Hike with Mike says, I like the outdoor books that have a philosophical aspect to being out in the woods. You know what you just reminded me of? I bought this book, or was it a video series? I think it was a book by what was his name? He plays bass for Bela Fleck. Victor Wooten. Because Victor Wooten has bass camps every summer, okay? Like 8 or 12 students show up there. And part of the camp is playing bass, but the other part of the camp is camping, like campfires and philosophy of like he sees it as a nature escape as much as a base camp, whereas most other famous bass players, their base camp is you go, you're running scales, you're trying, you're playing chords, you're slapping, you're blah 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 blah. But Victor Wooten takes kind of this holistic approach, and I really wanted to go to one of his camps for a long time, but the price is something else, especially when you're paying in Canadian dollars. And I wonder if people, like, does it take a certain kind of client or student to go to that camp knowing that you're not going to be necessarily getting bass drilled into you all day for every day for 2 weeks? If like there's more of an outdoors campfire communing with nature kind of element, except you're not allowed to bring bladed objects, because if you hurt your hands trying to chop wood or something, then you've wasted your money. But I don't know. Hold on a second. Tenenbaum dropped this quote, which is a good quote. Good stuff to live by. Kelly Simmons, how's it going?
Hi, Kelly. Yeah, what Tenenbaum says is very true, and I tell people that I tell people I'm a great example. Like if I've inspired people to go out into the woods and build a cabin, then that's fantastic because, and I've said this before, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Really,
Yep.
seriously.
And most skills are like that. Like we have this idea going back kind of to what I think it was, it Canadian or was it David who said that, like, people put outdoorsmen up on this pedestal because of the fact they do things that most of us don't, but they're not doing anything magical. Dick Predeke didn't do anything magical. All it takes is agonizing effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm a perfect example.
Yeah. Tim says we're surrounded by mountains here, and bushcrafting can be done, but no fires, too much dry brush unless it is made. Campground, but that takes where my dad lives in the Okanagan, they are almost never allowed to have fires now because, every summer half the large segments of the province are burning.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah. But they can camp on the beach there. There are many coves for privacy, and fires can be made. One just needs to be aware of times of low and high tides. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Kelly, by the way, says hi, Russell.
Kelly Simmons. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Just needs all the thumbs up he can get.
I need all the help I can get.
Although he's much closer to buying that new PC now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You need to sit up there, Jess. You're disappearing behind your
name. Am I sliding down again? You know what I'm going to do? There we go. I'll just drop the desk a little bit.
Oh. I thought you raised up, but you dropped the desk.
I dropped the desk.
Fancy.
Canadian says, you know what? My day job bought me this desk and this chair. And the stand for the screens, and actually one of these screens. So I was treated fairly well by my day job. Canadian says the backcountry isn't easy to get to, and that can be its savior. It's amazing how that's a double-edged sword, because making it being hard to get to keeps it relatively free fairly often from like Coke cans and like like the detritus around, like when a bunch of bros went camping and just threw all their crap around. But I'm kind of with Kevin Callan in that the more people who discover the magic of camping in the backcountry, the more people there are who actually care about it not being sold off. So I don't know how what side of that dichotomy I come down on, And in my my currently defunct vlogging channel, I was having similar thoughts. Camille and I were bopping through the Bronx Zoo, I think it was, and I was talking about how there are some people who believe that animals should not live in zoos at all, and I understand that. But when a person sees a lion versus reads about a lion, their approach to hearing about lions being driven to extinction in certain parts of Africa, I guarantee you, I posit, is different. That was way. Look at the size of that dram I just poured myself.
That's a nice pour right there.
Crumbs. I will drink it
Beautiful.
slowly.
That's Ardbeg, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Nice. Oh wait, is that the one I got you?
No, this one's the Ano. I'm drinking the other one as slowly as possible.
Oh, Jess.
Yeah. Slowly as possible. Now, why? That's a beautiful color because Ardbeg does not put caramel coloring in their juice.
That really, is that what they do? They put generally.
Yeah, most of the big guys that are trying to sell across the world, Macallan is bad for it. Lagavulin.
My childhood is ruined.
Here's
or something. I don't know.
Dalmore. They all caramel color. The vast majority of the bottles I buy are not caramel colored. Like I do my research. No caramel coloring, no chill filtering. If ever, if any of you are ever on the hunt for a scotch and you don't want caramel coloring or chill filtering, look up the bottle you're looking at buying at a German retailer like whiskeyworld.de or whiskeyandpassion.de, because in Germany, by law, they have to mark that. So on their, without having to buy a German bottle, so that it's not, if you don't want to buy a German bottle, it's still listed on their website. It'll say ohne Farbstoff, and that means no coloring. And chill filtering is Kaltfilterung. It says ohne inte Swedish. Like it depends on, like, some of them it's Kaltfilterung 9. Okay, that means it wasn't. But like, check a German website. You can use Google Translate to point you in the right direction.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is coloring really a bad thing?
Oh, look, the people who color their whiskeys will say that it's not. It doesn't. It's not. It's a quality control thing in terms of the color of the bottles. Very often, if you see a dark bottle, is because they don't color, and so you can have 6 of these from 2 different batches next to each other on a shelf, and they'll all look the same. Whereas something like a Macallan, as a clear bottle, they caramel color to make sure that everything looks the same. I don't need it to look the same.
I don't know, like that. Okay, so that one right there isn't colored.
It's not colored, so that's the natural color.
And it has a beautiful color. Like,
it's gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, drink that.
Oh, I'm gonna. Okay, look.
Don't patronize me.
It's very similar to the other one, the Ugadal. Because everything they do is like, it comes from a peated sort of, briny, peaty position. But like, the other one has a lot more sort of sherry cask influence than this one. I think the other one's
we're probably getting a little off topic.
Yeah, I think we're sort of diving too deep down the whiskey. Yeah. And yet, strangely, I went up in viewers. Guys, you're supposed to punish me for that. This isn't the whiskey channel, Jesse.
I'm trying to get back on track.
Yeah. Tim says something interesting. I would love to try the kind of bushcrafting we see the Baird brothers do. Hard to do where I'm at. That kind of adventure is on my bucket list. I hope one day I can do this. You know why I think that's interesting? Because on my Instagram, there are like a billion bears, because both of the brothers and both of their wives, they all have Instagrams, and so sometimes I'm mixing up which bear I'm looking at. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you. They do some really nice adventures, really cool stuff. They are utter experts, all 4 of them, absolute experts in the field.
You know what? Though I watch the stuff that they do, and I think, oh my God, that's a ton of work.
Yeah.
That's just
Absolutely.
from waking up in the morning to going to bed at night. It's just work, 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 work. And I maybe in my younger days I'd put up with that, but that is like you got to take some time and enjoy that crap, right?
But yeah, no, that's a good point as well. Absolutely. What I would like is, look, I would love to be in a position where I can quit my job and just do YouTubes, right?
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
Most of my videos would be very different at that point. But you're right in that it's easy to forget to sit back and enjoy this show happening around you when you're just trying to film everything. Because
Oh,
at the end of the day, those of us who are YouTube bushcrafters, or in your case, off-grid bush YouTubers, or you know, at the end of the day, it's the love of not being in the city that drives us, right? So sit back and enjoy the freaking show.
I remember. It's hard for me to picture now, but I remember, when I was living the city life and getting out in the wilderness and just sitting there going, "Oh, this is so awesome,"
Yeah,
But I think, if I was doing the Bear Brothers thing, like a trip like that, I'd have to be like one day on, one day off, one day on, one day off.
yeah. Um, but I mean, they're they're doing it to tell the story, right? I mean, they're doing it to make a show.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
these guys should be on Discovery or something. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, absolutely.
And you definitely get that feeling from some of their videos sometimes. Um, but you know, um, yeah, right. I don't know if I'd have the energy to really pump it like that. I think maybe one day on, one day off would work for me as well. Tim says as a youth he did some wild camping, but it was controlled. He was in scouting at the time. I did some wild camping and a survival weekend when I was in the Air Cadets, the Royal Canadian Air Cadets. But yeah, the thing is, a lot of my outdoors experience when I was a teenager was wasted on me because I was too busy being a teenager. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like it's like
yeah.
I wish if I could go back, I'd say enjoy this because it's not going to be as there for you as you think it's going to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wish I'd done so much more. I wandered. We had a bush right behind our house where I was growing up, and I would wander back there and I'd wander back home. And now I'm thinking, why didn't I do some bushcraft? Why didn't I light a fire and cook some hot dogs or something? Why didn't I do all this stuff? And
Yep. Absolutely. Tenenbaum dropped a link to something. I'm not sure what, but I'll check that afterwards.
oh, it's the German website with the scotch, maybe.
It might be to the regs actually.
That's what we
Tenenbaum
were
is
talking about
yeah.
at the time.
Tenenbaum is really good at finding the. Yes, the purity order is a series of regulations limiting the ingredients in beer in Germany and the States of the former Holy Roman Empire. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably why they have to put the and I believe that in Canada we should have to put the ingredients on the bottle. Canadian says the Seal River trip was interesting. You have to be dedicated, and they do go all out. And yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know if I could go that crazy. If in the same way as like I'm okay watching some Bear Grylls as entertainment, not as skills dev. But I would never do that. Well, I would never drink my own piss. First off, I
You
mean, at
say
the
that
end of the
now.
day,
You say that now, but when the camera's rolling,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hike with Mike says something here that resonates with me, and maybe with you too, Russell. But I'm not sure. He says, "I've always been an introvert, and I love just wandering in the woods alone."
yeah,
You know.
yeah, I get it. I'm an introvert, and people don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm an utter introvert. It's exhausting to be pretending to be an extrovert sometimes.
Oh, I put on a good show. I can turn it off or turn it on when I want to.
When I used to go hunting with my stepfather-in-law, I guess, what was beautiful about it, aside from being in the woods, was that we could spend like 2 hours just sitting there next to each other. I mean, not while we're out hunting. I mean, like, you know, we go back to the cabana that we built, and we could just sit there, cup of tea in front of us, and say nothing for like 2 hours. And then, you want to play Yum? Sure. But like, it wasn't a problem that we weren't speaking, you know?
Yeah.
And I treasure that kind of, you know what I just thought of in a totally non-bushcrafty but related to what I just said sort of way. I used to live with this girl and my buddy Robin, who has been in the side chat and on my videos before. And Robin and I have known each other for 40 years at this point. And in the mornings, Bianca would come out of the room and she'd be like trying to talk to me and like what's going to go on this, and just talking and talking and talking, and like she would come out and Robin and I would just be sitting there in silence with our teas in front of us. And one day Robin just said, he doesn't talk before his tea. And she had no idea. She had no idea. And I just looked at him and he looked at me and we sort of shrugged and went back to our tea. And she was like, well, okay then. And she made herself a coffee, got herself some cereal, and just sort of sat down until I was ready to be human. David Evans says, we need to have an introvert contest. I would win.
No, you wouldn't. You spoke first.
It's not a contest, David. And if it was, I would win. Tim says, a funny story. Our troop went on a hike and a camping trip, ended in some woods. We saw a light coming from the edge of the woods and followed it to an outdoor theater playing X-rated movies. Check the maps next time.
Oops.
Charles is also an introvert. What is this, like the coming together of the introverts here tonight?
Yep.
That's the Ardbeg magic. So I'm grateful that I'm that much closer to my computer, because that last video I put up took me a week, because this computer hates 4K video.
Did you show everybody what the donation was?
I think I did. I mean, I tried to. Did it show up?
I can't see your phone from.
Yeah, but I'm going to show it again. Uh-oh, Duolingo tells me I fell into the demotion zone.
Here.
I'll fix that tomorrow. Oh, it's so... I can't believe that. Who the heck did that?
$1,000.
I feel so awkward. And yet grateful. Hugely grateful. And faint. I got the vapors.
I remember you showed me a while back what PC you were going for. Oh, it was one of two PCs. I mean, I think the only difference was the size of the hard drive.
Yep.
Yep.
Is that a hint that you want me to put it up on the screen again?
Sure.
Like the money aspect of it really kills me. Hold on.
If you're just going to buy a normal PC, you'd have more than enough now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Serge.
Serge is here.
Bonjour.
Hey, Serge. You see, he's been listening on and off this evening without commenting. Does that make me an introvert? I know you are an introvert, but that's also why I kind of blew the beer pour earlier. All right, I will show this screen, but it's an embarrassing amount of money. Like it's sweaty palms money. You know, it's funny because this never used to be. I don't know. Hold on. So, because of Quebec taxes,
press. Oh, you're on a Mac. What happens when you press F11?
F11?
Yeah.
There we go.
Nothing?
I don't know. Everything just went to full screen. Oh, you mean over here? Hold on. Where is my mouse?
There you go.
F11. There we go. Good old Windows. I wish I'd known
Boy,
about that before now.
That didn't help much, actually.
What do you mean? Helped me greatly.
Okay, so you get... Oh, my goodness.
So the thing is, plus Quebec taxes, right? Okay, if I do this...
Where's the taxes?
No, I don't want the screen. Add to bag. I'll just show you. Review bag. Oh, by the way, it doesn't come with a keyboard.
It doesn't come with a keyboard?
No.
Is that $3,700?
Yeah, that's because I forgot to add something here. Because yeah.
Oh my god! You know what kind of PC I could get for $3,700?
Oh, I know exactly what kind of PC because I used to work in a computer store. Absolutely.
Oh, god, this is.
But here's the thing about it. How do I F11 though? Do I do it again?
Press F11 again. Yeah.
Oh man, I should speak to you more often. Now I know things. Now I know things about Windows. I feel all powerful and stuff now.
You had like 100 tabs open there.
Yeah, I know. It's because after tonight's live stream, I have to do school governing board stuff. So those are all governing board tabs. Oh, I know. Trust me. Holy crap, dude.
You need to get out of that.
I'm so burnt out. It's awful.
You did. Good night. Hold on. We got to say good night to Charles and Inland.
Good night. Heading to Bogo. What the heck is Bogo?
Somewhere in the Philippines. A few antiques for your house yesterday. Need to pick them up. It's like 10:24 a.m. there.
Just in time to go to Bogo. Do you like around here, people who really want to get some antiques without spending vast amounts of money, they sort of jump down to Maine?
Are you asking me?
Like, I guess around there, you don't just jump down to Maine, do you?
The oldest thing I have in this cabin is, me.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know anything about antiques. Although, my mother gave me her silver set, silver, which is kind of interesting. It's like all pearl handles, and I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do with this? It's really old. What the hell am I gonna do with this?
Put it in.
I mean, it belonged to her grandmother, so my great grandmother.
Oh yeah, so it's not the kind of thing you can just get rid of.
Is that my great grandmother? No, it's my great great grandmother. Or is it my great? I don't know. It's here at the cabin, but I don't know what to do with it.
Your mom's mom is your grandma. Your mom's grandma is your great grandma. Your mom's great grandma is your great great grandma. You just keep adding greats all the way back.
Okay.
Yeah, Hike with Mike loved that line, by the way. The oldest thing in this cabin is me. I love it. Just sipping my whiskey.
Dog.
Sipping on my whiskey. Are you building your workshop this summer?
Yes, that's the plan.
Nice.
And it's a very daunting plan. It scares the hell out of me.
Are you gonna do some variant of that plan we were looking at? The kit thing? But without buying the kit?
I like the kit. And Al is gonna come and help me with some of it. He likes the kit too, but the only good kit we found is some company in the States. So I sent them a message saying, "Do you deliver to Canada?" But I haven't heard back yet. But otherwise, I don't see a problem with just buying the sticks and building it.
Right. Because you can also just buy the plans for $100. See, to me, if I have plans, I can probably get it done. Because I envy you. I'm impressed by your ability to put a plan together using
SketchUp.
Yeah, using SketchUp.
Yeah.
Because I got SketchUp several years ago, and I never had the time, or I guess never made the time to really learn how to work it. You know?
Yeah, SketchUp's very, very useful. I mean, this whole cabin. I think I talked about it before, but I designed this whole cabin in SketchUp,
Mm-hmm.
and several times I had to I did something wrong, and it's kind of like you're actually building something. Like you build up and you go, oh, I did that wrong. So you have to take it all back down to wherever the mistake was made. Like mistake
Yeah.
in the subfloor. Well, everything's on top of the subfloor, so you gotta change everything else.
Yeah.
And I did that like so many times, and I was so frustrated. But in the end, I was able to tell. I knew exactly how many 2 by 6 by 8s I needed, and how much plywood I needed, and ding ding ding, and even the length of my the metal roofing.
Right. I just want to say good night to Hike with Mike. Everyone say good night to Mike.
Good night, Mike.
May is his busiest night of the year, month of the year.
Month.
For me, May is my birthday month.
Dave, how old are those snowshoes? I haven't hung them up yet. They're still sitting on the deck.
Oh, you got like a couple of antique snowshoes? Nice. I have, well, no, I don't have. We have my wife's snowshoes from when she was like about 6, and they're the old school ones. Everyone's just saying goodnight to Mike.
Ding, 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 ding. How's it going down?
Pretty damn good. Problem with Ardbeg is they have so many different expressions that it can be hard to. And they have a bunch that are like released once a year, and that's it. Like once. Sorry, not once a year, just once. Living in Quebec, I never get those.
Holy crap! Those are over 100
Wow.
years old.
Get them off the deck. Bring them inside. Hang them up.
Well,
Place of honor and all that.
Well, I'm gonna hang them on the outside over the sliding door there.
Oh, like crossed?
Yeah, like the whole.
Yeah. Nice.
I just haven't. I'm lazy. Haven't done it yet.
Damn it, Russell, you lazy goat.
Yeah.
Get him up.
I'm a goat.
You're the goat.
Get it up.
Get it up. Get it up. What time are we at? We're only at 10:30. Okay, be interesting. I have to see a man about hers.
Interesting. David says they were my grandfather's and used them in his early 20s. That's pretty cool. David, you need to come here and hang those snowshoes up over my door. Can you do that? I think I've had those almost 2 years now. The snowshoes? No, I got them. You talking about the snowshoes? No, I got them last summer when I was over at David's. When we went fishing. And I'm going to go fishing again as soon as possible, David. David owes me some fish. Oh, so right. Interesting. Interesting. But I tell you what, Christy, there are certainly lots of things that I started long ago that I haven't finished, like the bathroom. But any day now, I'm gonna get back on that. Yeah, was it September? Yeah. And the stupid thing is that they're not hard to put up. I just need to put some nails in my pine. Kind of gotta need to map it out and then put some nails in. All right, I'm supposed to be interesting here. Have I said how much I love living in the wilderness? Oh, we should talk about when Jess comes here. I've got an idea of what he should do when he gets here, but we haven't talked about it. He just keeps saying he's coming, and I'm like, this is what I think you should do, Jess.
Hey, what
You're
should I
gonna
do?
get here. You're gonna get
Yep.
here. I'm gonna bring you to the cabin with all your stuff,
Yep.
and then I think we should that day take a hike around and um, hike around. I can show you the bigger beaver pond, and maybe you can get some ideas for like where you want to camp and stuff. Because I assume you're gonna camp out there.
Hmm.
Um,
What
and
I
then
would want to find is 2 trees far enough to hang up my hammock for the first time.
we have trees.
Yep. I've had the hammock for like 4 years now. Ain't never even hung it.
Oh, you've never hung up your hammock.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the first day we'll do some hiking around. You can get some good ideas of the lay of the land. And do you have a GPS
Just
or
one on my
something?
phone. Just one on my phone.
Yeah, that'll do. I just don't want you to get lost. So,
All right.
and I think you should come on a Friday.
Come on a Friday?
Yeah, come on a Friday, and so that after we're done hiking and we come back to the cabin, and then we can Books Fest,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then Saturday is like take your stuff and go, and you can find a good spot to camp and do all your bushcraft and do a bunch of videos. Saturday and Sunday,
Yep.
and then I don't know how many days you're planning on being here, but Monday go home, or I don't know how many days were you thinking?
That sounds about right. Friday to Monday.
Yeah, it's up to you. I'm not like you can stay as long as you want, but um, I I don't know how much time you're planning.
Yeah, I'm working around, you know, not holiday, vacation scheduling and everything.
Yeah,
I lose a big chunk of my vacation every year because of that festival gig I do in Alberta.
right.
But yeah, and we want it like it should be early October so that it's not like freezing out. But the nice thing about early October is black fly season's over and mosquito season's over.
Oh yeah, the bug season ends like September 1st.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If you want to catch fall colors, then it's the first week of October.
Okay. Good
But
to know.
but and at the end of October, you've lost most of the leaves on the trees. If you come
Right.
early September, then everything's still green, but which isn't a bad thing. But
Right.
is that what you're thinking? Like a Friday to Monday? Like, you can stay longer if you want.
I was thinking
Friday to
Friday to
Tuesday?
Monday or something. Depending on like if I could work out a Friday to Tuesday or like a Thursday to Monday, that
Yeah,
would be nice.
that'd be fine too.
Yeah. I gotta hold on a second. I just realized there's a couple of things said in the side chat here. Tim says that the lakes are drying up here, forced to fish the ocean. When I was down in Arizona and Nevada at the Hoover Dam, I noticed that water's down. Like that whole region is having a water problem. Um,
Sorry,
what?
not that wasn't funny. No, I was laughing at something else.
Okay. Tim says, do you have those flies in the urban setting, Jess? We do not ever get black flies here. We do not ever get horse flies or deer flies. We do get the mosquitoes, though. And as of a few years ago, there's West Nile virus in Quebec because of the mosquitoes. So when I see a mosquito, that thing dies.
Yeah.
Oops.
Hold on, you gotta go back. You gotta go back a bit there.
Right, that's what I was looking for. There goes doing the RR cocktail video. Pam just finished the Cointreau. What? Do you have any triple sec? That would work too, right?
What was she doing with a Cointreau? Or Grand? We've been doing Grand Marnier.
Oh,
which
you've
is
been doing Grand
wonderful.
Marnier. Yeah.
It's wonderful stuff.
I bought Cointreau for the Raspberry Rock cocktail videos just because that day they didn't have any Grand Marnier in stock in the SAQ I went into.
You and Cointreau is that 20%?
I believe it's more than that. I know it's more expensive than Grand Marnier, if I remember
No,
correctly.
no. Grand Marnier
No?
is more expensive. Yeah.
Is it?
Okay, so it's No, if you get the right Cointreau, it's 40%. But I'm sure I've seen. Oh, is it triple sec? That's maybe the triple sec. That's only 20%.
I'm taking a look.
All right.
Cointreau.
Be okay. Be interesting.
Okay. All right. Cointreau here in Quebec is $37.50 for a 750 ml. Grand Marnier, which is also very tasty stuff. The SAQ, by the way, is horrifying. Absolutely shite. Marnier, I don't know why I'm looking this up. I just don't know why I'm looking this up. Okay, he's going to Kingston. He's going to hit the LCBO. Because, dude, I tagged you in my Raspberry Rock cocktail video, so you have to make a video now. Hey, Honeybee is here, and only briefly. All right, that's okay. That's okay, B. I call you B. I feel kind of awkward calling you Honey, so. How's it going? How's life? Tim says 30 years ago, I was visiting a friend in Boston and we got toasted on Grand Marnier. Never had it since. I have a similar story about Bailey's. I have not been able to stomach Bailey's in about as long, maybe not 30 years. Actually, it might be 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm someone who I don't like getting really sloshed. I don't like getting 3 sheets to the wind. I don't like overdoing it. Because let's face it, I have control issues. So I don't like losing control, and I hate waking up with nausea and a headache. There's a lot of stuff I can handle, but nausea and headaches are 2 of the things I just can't. So having both of them at the same beautiful time. So yeah. Okay. Good, David. Nice to see that it's on your video to-do list.
I was gonna say I have a similar story about vodka.
About vodka, interesting, because there's no real taste to it. So I wouldn't see. You know what you just reminded me of? I had a girlfriend a long time ago who. Okay. All right. All right. Back on track. I knew someone once who had gotten so sick on screwdrivers that she never drank orange juice again. I was like, the orange juice wasn't the problem there, right? She's like, don't mess with the logic.
Wait, okay. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I think I had alcohol poisoning that one night with vodka, and I couldn't eat for 2 days.
Oh, yikes!
It was really bad.
Honeybee has been reading through a machinery's handbook for data purposes to keep a little momentum going in summer. What of you two? We're just planning to take over the world.
What? What? Wait. A machinery's handbook for data purposes. Keep a little momentum going. I'm drinking beer to keep the momentum going.
B, we're just sort of making plans.
No, his name isn't Honeybee. What's his name again?
It's Tyler, but he shows up as Honeybee. By the way, to those of you who don't know, Honeybee is also one of my channel members, which makes him one of my personal heroes. Yeah, I don't know. Tyler. Yes, Tyler. It's true. He's not being secretive about it. That's just his handle, his nick. Oh, I was about to click that. Yes. The thing about Southern Comfort is that it's crap. You don't have to get drunk off of that stuff to not be able to touch it. I had a bottle of it once that I bought for data purposes because I'd never had it before. And it's like, what can I do with this? And everything I tried to do with it sucked. And it had that sort of smell to it. Okay, here's what happened. I had some in a glass, and I didn't finish it because the night sort of I got distracted. I went to bed. I got up in the morning, and it was in the glass, and the smell of it the next day really put me off. And so I don't even think I ever finished that bottle. It's too syrupy. You know, it's just too syrupy. Man, it looks like everyone's got a story about this. Can't even smell Sambuca anymore, Canadian says. Tim says Yukon Jack, gnarly stuff. Oh, okay, yeah. David says I've had some bad experience with tequila. I cannot touch tequila. Cannot do it.
I don't get tequila. It's like the stuff tastes awful.
Yeah. I would like to explore tequila and more mezcal a little bit as a cocktail ingredient, but I don't want to. I don't want to sit there and like, was it lemon, salt, piss? No.
It's the whole thing was invented by somebody just with a masochistic. You know?
And I find if you overdo it on tequila, it's almost like a narcotic high rather than just a regular drunk, you know.
It's like, how can we make this worse?
Yeah. Honeybee is drinking something phenomenal tonight. The Aberlour Abuna,
which is what?
It's a Scotch, but it's a cask strength. It's he tells us 60%. But it's a heavily sherried Scotch, so it's got a nice sweet roundness to it. It's very widely considered to be one of the best in its class. Absolutely. David says, yeah, it was tequila shots, lemon, salt, lick, and down the hatch. I'm like, nope. It's funny. Every time I say down the hatch, I think of Letterkenny now. You know when they're talking about doing a steak on the barbecue?
I've never watched Letterkenny.
Okay. You're letting me down, but that's okay. It's okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. How do we still have 19 people watching? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about booze. We're talking about booze.
This is what happens. This is what happens when you don't have a topic.
I know.
Although last week's was way worse.
Last week's topic?
No, last week's live stream.
Yeah, but that's because it went off the rails.
Yeah, for 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I was a little tired the next day. I was tired the next day, let me tell you.
I don't know how you do. Well, you're just a youngin', but I.
Just a youngin'. I'm gonna be 50 on the 21st of this month, by the way.
Yeah, but when you hit 52, then you'll know what I mean.
Right.
I slept in the next day.
You know, it's funny because like I have this daydream where I win like $30 million. Okay, and
Those
the first
are fun
thing,
daydreams. Yeah.
Absolutely, the first thing I do in this daydream is quit my job, buy a plot of land. But like, because of the nature of the life that I'm living right now, that daydream means okay, I quit my job and then I buy a plot of land, but it has to be close enough to Montreal so that I can still do like the kids drop off in the morning.
Yeah.
And then be there to pick the kid up. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like even my daydreams are like kind of stunted by, and I mean, and it's purely because the magic of living with someone who's literally doing her day job is that if we won 30 mil tomorrow, she wouldn't quit her job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, there's something impressive about that. There's something really impressive about that.
Yeah.
I was meaning to ask you about the SketchUp. Mm-hmm. You do have sort of a fairly technical background to you, right? In what you used to do before you. So, like, did you bring that kind of skill to learning SketchUp, or did you really learn it from scratch, like full on layman? I'm pouring myself one more scotch.
Certainly, having a background in IT helps because, you know, just the way apps work. Mm-hmm. But it's still a learning curve. You know, it's kind of like learning video editing. It's an uphill battle. But once you get used to some of the concepts, like
Yeah.
turning a two-dimensional object into a three-dimensional object. Once you kind of grasp that,
Yeah.
then it's like I'm no expert and I've never used AutoCAD before, but what
Okay.
once you get it down, it's pretty nice to use. But the problem is it's just so time consuming to do anything. You know, like you're
Right.
creating. So it's almost like you're building the cabin for real.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to Shawnee. She just showed up.
Shawnee. Wait.
Shawnee.
That's like the movie. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You can, my name's Shawnee, but you can call me da 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 da. And he's like, okay, Shawnee. It was Charlie Sheen. Yeah. Okay,
Such a good
Shawnee.
movie.
Shawnee.
Such a good movie, and such an expert, like such a fabulous use of breaking the fourth wall.
Oh
And
yeah,
it just
absolutely. Yeah,
Tim
I
says
love
we
it.
used to, oh yeah, such a great film. We used to drink upside down margaritas. Sit in the chair, head back, someone pours the ingredients, and you flip your head forward and swallow. Don't forget the lime. What? Was this during college or university or something?
It's funny. It's funny when Tim talks about does these drinking stories because I know he's got a 2 drink max now.
Hmm. I'm sort of moving in that direction too, though. Like I'm not a 2 drink max, but like from being able to like anyway.
I could go for a 2 drink max. I just need a large enough cup.
Speaking of cup size, Canadian says tequila is only good when the shots are done in the navel of Hooters waitresses. That sounds hygienic. Um, yeah, and now Tim is saying when you guys hit 62, talk to me. That's probably related to what you just said. Canadian is Tim. I'm 60 and not doing multiple shots of anything anymore. The hangover isn't worth it. Yeah, absolutely.
I did a. I got to come back to Ferris Bueller. I did the thing at the end of a couple of my videos where I'm like, "Are you still here? Wait, go home.
Oh yeah,
You're not supposed to be here anyway. Go home."
Yeah. I love it when I said I was pouring one more whiskey. Ian the Weblord. Pour one more, Jess. After all, it's Tuesday.
Ian, hey, welcome Ian.
Oh, interesting. Tyler's been using Fusion 360. Not architectural, but certainly good modeling software. I find it a lot faster because it allows for patterns on faces.
My buddy Ray uses a thing called, is it Chief Architect? And he says it's so fast. You can build rooms and put furniture in it and stuff. And that's how he did my kitchen.
I used to do a little bit of 3D modeling. I was art director for a multimedia CD-ROM back in the day. Our local at that point, our local classics still is station called Show'em FM used to have a battle of the bands every year called L'Esprit, and 1 or 2 years they decided they wanted a multimedia CD. And so I 3D rendered a stage with a drum set and a bass guitar and like a few things, and then like the silhouette of a crowd in front of it, and that was the menu screen. You remember when you'd put in a CD-ROM, there was a menu screen? Like, am I dating myself here?
A little, yeah.
So yeah, I 3D rendered that whole thing. For the bass guitar and the drum set, I sourced 3D models, so I didn't do that myself. And at around the same time, in fact, I was still working for the same multimedia company. Nobody uses multimedia as a term anymore, but we did back then. I did the landing page and the interface for the website of a. Oh, is that how your kitchen's going to look?
Well, this is Chief Architect, which is the program he uses to. He built this all, and I think it only took him a few minutes.
Nice. I like it. I
Except
like
for the stove. The stove is awful.
But the stove is probably a model that he sourced, right? Same with the toaster and
The amazing thing is it looks exactly like the stove we have, but I got to buy a new propane stove because we have one without a back on it, so it looks nicer in front of the window.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway, that's
I love it. Serge hinting at current events. I love it.
No, he's talking about my 2-drink max.
I know,
I
but the
think.
mega pints, you know how like the trial
Oh,
that I don't want to talk about. Yeah, never mind. Don't worry about it. Hey, SV's here. See y'all in 25 minutes, maybe. I don't know what time is it. 22:52. No, I think we're gonna shut her down on time tonight because I have school related work that I have to do after this.
okay,
David
Jim.
says, I'm old enough to say I learned to draft with a T-square and a straight edge. I also, in high school, took a technical drawing course, and I also used a T-square and a drawing table.
I I knew a guy once who he worked at a engineering firm, and his job was really interesting. There's like 100 engineers who worked there, and they all used, back in the day, old PCs like 286s kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? And they would all use AutoCAD, and they would all do their designs, and then they print them. And his job was to take the printouts and erase lines that shouldn't be there.
Really?
Because the apps were so new, the app was so new that there's all kinds of problems, and they couldn't always see where all the lines were.
Right.
Take the printout and they're like, okay, start erasing here and there.
Amazing. Wow, that's
Funny.
crazy. Absolutely. Tyler says, my eyelids are failing me. I may be here, but I won't be there. Yeah, dude, go to bed. It's fine. I mean, we're shutting her down pretty soon anyway, in like 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Tim still uses a T-square and a straight edge. Yeah. I miss those days in some ways. Like when I was in graphic design school, like you had to be able to draw out an entire font, using all the tools. You had to be able to use a T-square. You had to be able to use a straight edge. And there was a tactility to design that you just don't get anymore. Like you had Mylar paper, you had like this plastic film with a colored film on top of it, and you would be like cutting out your design with an X-Acto knife. Like there's a magic to the old school way of doing things that doesn't really exist anymore in the computer age, in the desktop publishing age, as we used to call it. And yet, I did not enjoy being a graphic designer. I'm glad I don't do it anymore. Like, I mean, I do my own logos, but I wouldn't do it for money again. And at the end of the day, I'm not great at it anymore. Like the skills are way behind me. I think that if I hired a graphic design firm, I would have way sweeter logos. But whatever, I made my logos.
Yeah. Well, you're better than me.
Do you have a logo?
Nope.
Just imagine how many more viewers you'd have if you had a logo.
I do. Well, we sort of have a logo actually. It's I don't know. It doesn't really come across very well on a.
Oh
cup.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what though?
Tim loved the drafting class until the math came into play. Written math and myself does not happen. I'm bad at math. I do not get it. I have massive problems with math as well. Absolutely, Tim. And that really bites me in the arse now whenever I'm trying to help my daughter, the elder daughter, with her math. That's a nice cutting board, dude. Oh, and that's actually your cabin too.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was done by gosh, anybody remember Todd? That incredible. Anyway, he had some graphic design experience, and I sent him some pictures. And
nice. You got the two dogs. Them two dogs. Yeah. Nice. I like it. Just checking the time. I was about to start giggling, and I thought, no, because the last thing I want is scotch to go up my nose. Bad enough when it's tea.
Did you see that video I posted on crap I found on the internet of the guy trying his limoncello?
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? I've seen that video. I came across it on YouTube a while ago. I don't know, for some reason I was falling down a rabbit hole, and I saw like 3 limoncello, like how to make limoncello videos in a row, and that was one of them. And he just like took a sip and was like, whoa.
I love that video.
Yeah. Because I would like to try making a raspberry rock cocktail with limoncello instead of the lime cordial, but I think it would change the taste way too much.
It might. But cocktail, yeah, you wouldn't want to do that in a cocktail. Maybe a shot.
Yeah. But there's the problem, right? Like the amounts, the proportions you use in a shot don't always work as a cocktail, and those proportions don't translate well to a cocktail with those liquors, with those drinks, those beverages.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Kristen Ground says, "I made homemade limoncello. Mine wasn't good either." The thing about limoncello is that it's it can be pretty high octane. Like a lot of the homemade stuff is.
Apparently, you're supposed to sip it, not shoot it.
Tim is out. All right. Good night. Have a good week,
Good night, Tim.
Mr. Tim. Speak to you later. I just say good night to Russell. See you Friday.
All right, you can shut it down, Jess, if you want. 10:59.
No, I'm waiting until 11.
You're disappearing behind your name again.
Am I? Jesus, Jesus. El Savior Christ.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, now we are at 11, so we're going to shut her down. Good night, everyone. As David says, he's just waiting for 11 o'clock and boop.
Well, no, it's you, Jess. You're like, no, we can't shut it down before 11. We can't do it. Oh, okay, it's 11.
Right. So until next week I may be a little late because governing board. Which dog is that?
That was Willow.
That was Willow?
I think she just barked in her sleep.
Nice. Well, they do dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Between now and next week, please, everybody. Oh, yes, I was going to say, I might be late next week because of school governing board, blah, blah, blah. Between now and next week, everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, and be kind to one another. Good night.
Hey, Soup.